A grand jury in Georgia has indicted former President Donald Trump as part of an investigation into efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The 13 felony charges include racketeering and election meddling. Let's get some more of the details with Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan. Hey, Alexis.
Hi, guys. Yes, so the fourth indictment in a matter of, this is now a span of 4 months. This is a state case, though, and it is a criminal case, but it's different from that federal case that was brought a couple weeks ago now in D.C., in that it is tied to the alleged efforts by Trump and others to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Now, this indictment, it does contain 19 named defendants, including Trump, and that includes, as you mentioned, Mark Meadows, former White House chief of staff for Trump, and also his lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, as well as John Eastman. And this is a very heavy indictment. It has 42 counts in it. Among those, 13 of them are alleged against Trump. And the main basis here is racketeering, organizing with others to go forward with some type of criminal enterprise. Also, though, charges of conspiracy, soliciting a public officer, false statements, impersonating a public officer, forgery, filing false documents, and attempts to influence witnesses. There's one claim that on January 2nd, the allegation is that Trump had called Georgia's top election official, trying to pressure that official into changing the election by ways of saying that there were false votes submitted, that Democrats were falsely stuffing ballot boxes. And remember, Georgia was a really important state, as it often is in presidential elections. In this particular 2020 election, Georgia was a 49-49 and change vote on the popular vote on each side for Biden and Trump. So that was a critical state to target if you did want to have a different outcome of that election. Now, Trump is facing these indictments and these charges. And look, the timeline is going to be very fraught in terms of it riding alongside the primaries for the 2024 election and all the way up until the election. In the federal case that he's got coming up in D.C., he's also got a federal case in Florida. So the D.C. case is the one that is similar to this one. Then you've got the Florida case alleging that he kept classified documents after having left office. And then on top of that, you have the New York State case that alleges that he falsified documents in those alleged hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. So that timeline, it starts in March. The first trial is slated for March among those. And that doesn't even mention the civil cases that Trump is also going to face in this coming year. And then going along, it should be approximately a year when these cases would be set for trial from the date that they are filed. So you can imagine, starting in March, that this will run right alongside the actual primaries and through the election, most likely.
And it's my understanding that as a state case, whereas in the others, he could receive a presidential pardon, maybe even from himself, it's unclear.
Right.
This one he cannot, because it's a state case instead. How should we, so you sort of helped us situate these in time. How should we situate them in severity and, how much jail time each carries and sort of how firm the cases are?
So in Georgia, racketeering has a lower bar than it does at the federal level. It does not require as tough of evidence to show in order to get over the hurdles of proving your case. But all of these charges, a lot of them are 20-year imprisonment at their max sentence. Now, look, defendants don't usually get the maximum sentence, but if you stack up enough of these charges, if they do lead to convictions, these for Trump would mostly look like a life sentence. But look, we're at really early stages here, but there are so many charges that he's going to have to defend. And so he has a lot of work ahead of him. And certainly I would expect that would frustrate his efforts to keep campaigning, no matter how much different experts might think, legal experts might think that he might use these lawsuits to drum up more support from his supporters and more money perhaps as well to keep his bid going.
Yeah. I mean, that's something our Rick Newman likes to point out, that every time an indictment drops, he raises a bunch of money.
Yep, polls go up.
Exactly. Alexis Keenan, our legal reporter, thank you so much for helping walk us through that.